Hi everybody, Spider-Kel back once again for another DC Chess Collection review. Number 28, Black Bat. This is a character that when I heard about it and when she arrived, I looked at it and I thought, another bat? How many is there? You know, can no one be original and come up with their own idea instead of borrowing or copying from Batman? Until I read about it, and instantly, as soon as I read the name, I knew exactly who she was. Just that this is her latest incarnation, which I didn't know about. And she is basically Cassandra Cain. Cassandra Cain was the daughter of David Cain, who was a very, very prolific, very good assassin. As Wolverine would say, I'm very good at what I do, but what I do isn't very nice. That's also David Cain. He was very good at being an assassin, but it wasn't nice what he did. He basically trained Cassandra into being as good an assassin as he is. But in that he also did not teach her to speak, believing that the speech part of the brain could be retrained into reading another person's body language and their actions so that she could technically see what they were going to do before they even did it. Technically allowing her to see into the future. And it worked, and she was able to do that. And at the age of 8, she made her first kill, which was a mob boss. But she was so horrified by what happened, and she was able to read his death spasms, I think it refers to in this book. And she was that horrified that she was just like, she realised that it wasn't a game anymore, you know, that this was quite real. And so she ran, and she basically ended up in Gotham City as a teenager, just before No Man's Land, when Gotham City was hit by a devastating earthquake, which is one of the greatest stories, and I love that storyline. Fantastic story. And in that she basically becomes Batgirl, which is how I know her. I've read that comic several times. I love it to death, and I love the Cassandra Cain character. I think it's a really, really cool character in that she's been trained to be an assassin, hasn't been taught to speak or to read, so that it trains that part of her brain. And Batman looks at her and sees a lot of good in her, and in a lot of ways probably sees a lot of himself in her, in that she had her childhood stolen from her as he did. And so he basically becomes like a surrogate father. A lot of things happen in the interim. I won't go into them. There's a lot of detail, and it's all in this book, and it's very, very interesting. But basically she learns to speak again, then she goes off to train with someone called Shiva, because Batman says, you know, you've lost your fighting edge, you know, I don't want to risk you out on the streets, as Batgirl takes the mantle away from her. She trains up again. Basically she can speak, but she can now also do what she used to do. And then when Batman Incorporated came up, she takes on the mantle of Black Bat and becomes a representative for Batman Incorporated over in Hong Kong. And that is pretty much, in a nutshell, Cassandra Cain. A very, very good character, very good. And as I said before, when it first came along, I thought, I've never even heard of Black Bat. Who is this? And it did cross my mind, why don't they have a Cassandra Cain? And then when I realised Black Bat is Cassandra Cain, I thought, oh, well, that's all right, that'll do me fine. And it is kind of good, really, that we've already got a Batgirl on the chess set, you know, the original, the best, Barbara Gordon. So you wouldn't want another Batgirl on there. So instead we have her latest incarnation, Black Bat, which is pretty cool. So, that's pretty much all I can say about her bio. I could say a lot more, but I've done a couple of versions of this, and now I ended up talking for 6 minutes about all sorts of stuff, and I thought, no, that's not good. So, we'll move on to the figure and see what that is like. And here we have the Black Bat piece. A very beautiful piece, and very nicely represents Cassandra Cain in the Black Bat costume. All the way through we have all this beautiful detail and some very nice pieces to it as well. As always, we'll go into the face and see what that is like. Oop, a little bit too close, there we go. And we do have a very nice face. It's a bit lopsided, as you can probably see from here. Her left eye here is a little bit too high. Her mask seems a little bit lopsided, which is a bit of a shame. But as always with these, it's just basically because we're coming in close to the face and close to the detail that we see all of this. If you look at it from a distance, it doesn't really stand out. The face itself is just very simplistic. We have like very slight detailing on the mouth and on the nose. And I think sometimes being simplistic like this does sometimes help. This is definitely one of those situations where it just looks really nice, and they've done a pretty good job with it. I do like these little strands of hair that are coming down from like beside her ear there, and we actually have one on each side, and I do kind of like that. That's a really nice touch. The hair detail itself is very nice, and I like how it's kind of like short and jagged, and it's like kind of like quite spiky in a way as well. It's not all fluid and moving. We do have a lot of detail and texture in there. And it's just, it's very, very nice. It's well detailed and a little bit different, really. As for the rest, we have the base of her cape coming here around underneath her chin, which goes round into a sort of kind of almost hood here. Obviously, it isn't actually a hood, but it's just, it almost looks like a very deep sort of scarf that she's wearing around her neck as well as the cape. It's a bit weird. We have the bat symbol as well here, which is quite nicely detailed. That you can kind of tell from a distance what it is, but again with the paint detail on here, you can kind of see where the marking is for the bat symbol, and it kind of smudges over. It's not as bad as some others. It's not as bad as a lot of other pieces that we've got. And I mean, you have to be honest, this is all hand painted, and it's difficult to get that sort of detailing in there. So they've done a very good job. You can still tell what it's meant to be. But I think one of the places where they've done an exceptional job is her belt. As opposed to Superman, when I did his review and I said how much I dislike the fact that, in fact I'll just bring him in quickly, how much I dislike the fact that, where is he? There we go. His belt is kind of like all smudged, and it just basically looks like they took a paintbrush and went slap. This is what they could have done with it. You know, they've done such a good job with Black Bat here. And they could have done this with Superman so much better. There we go. Just where you have all this detailing, and you know, here's where the bat symbol would be, and they've got that all done separately, and each one of her belt and her belt attachments. You know, they've just done a wonderful job, and it shows. And this is the same along a lot of them, that they do this on a lot of the different pieces, and it shows it can be done. And they've done an exceptional job here on Black Bat, and a beautiful gold colouring on there as well. As for the rest of the base of the outfit, the legs and then the feet, they're basically all black, all solid, all one piece. Some slight heels on the back, very, very, actually no, they're not even heels, that's just where this paint's smudged. So yeah, flat soled, and just pretty much that's all you can say for the rest of the, the rest of the outfit. We do have the bandages kind of thing, or the, whatever you want to call these, around her wrists. These do actually usually go around here and in between her thumbs, which would have been nice to have had that as well, but I think they made the right choice by just having it like that. I think that if had the white coming around here, it might not have looked as good. It might just look, I'd have probably been sat here going, they've tried to do this, but it just looks like they've slipped with the paint. You know, so I'll give them credit that they've probably done the right job, the right choice in deciding not to do that. And it does look perfectly nice like that. That's, at least we've got this. You know, it's quite nice how they've done it. She's holding on to two different batarangs here, both in each hand, just basically stood there holding them, which does look quite nice. But one of my favourite things about this, which you probably already have guessed, is the cape. She does have a cape where it comes down, it's quite jagged at the bottom. We have these 4 different prongs that come off, and I do love this flowing look, and each one is different, and each one is moulded in a different way. Excuse me, sorry. Each one is moulded in a different way and flowing down even over the base of the pawn stand itself. It's very, very nice. I do really like that. And that's pretty much all you can say about it. It's a very nicely crafted piece. It captures the Black Bat character extremely well, and it's just really nice to actually have Cassandra Cain on the board as well. I do love the gold colouring. We have the black, we have the white here for the wrists. Her hair is really, really nice. We just have that slight problem in the face, but like I said, it's so tiny that I didn't even realise it until I started doing this review. and zoomed in on the face. It's one of those things where when you look at it from this sort of a distance, you can see there it looks fine. It doesn't distract from the piece or the character at all. It's just when you look closely at it. And I think, you know, it just goes to show how you know, how well crafted these are, you know, and the hand painted and things like that. So overall, a fantastic piece, and I'm very happy with it. Considering my initial reservations of who the hell is Black Bat, you know, and then realizing, oh, it's Cassandra. Oh, well, I'm happy now. Yeah, that's fine. So there we go. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the review, everyone. I shall be back very soon for another one. Until then, take care, and I'll see you all soon.